This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, live streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Join me on YouTube at Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, on Facebook at Dr. Jacalyn, and on Instagram at Dr. Jacalyn, as seen and heard on the USA Global TV and Radio Network worldwide. We've earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, and I've earned the 100 Global Top Women Icons in Media. My TV shows are Iconic Women, Creating a World of Possibilities, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, A Woman's Prerogative, Sisterhood Across Borders, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. We're streaming every night live on Let's Finally Talk. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio, where we proudly provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show tonight is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart conversation about difficult and challenging subjects. Today's subject is in alignment with Halloween, and we're going to be discussing what it's like to wear a mask. So this is the one day of the year that we're really encouraged to put on a costume, to put on a mask, to be someone else, to feel like what it would be like to be something else. And so I know for me, I used to get dressed up for Halloween and I always want to be something sexy like Cleopatra. I would never want to be something unattractive. And then finally, I just got tired of dressing up. But we dress up literally with masks every day of our life. And today we're going to talk about how we can take those masks off so that we can be at peace with ourselves. So if you're new to this show, if you're new to our platform, everything that I celebrate has to do with what I call elevated listening. And elevated listening is really a way in which we can be completely present for other people. And at the same time, we can set boundaries for ourselves. So today we're going to look beyond the costumes and beyond the fake masks. And we're going to look at the emotional masks that we wear. And we put these masks on for different reasons. We are in situations every day where we are faced with opportunities, a choice to say yes or a choice to say no. And there are times when we make the choice based on fear. We can either be coming from a place of love or from a place of fear. And when we come from a place of fear, we are not standing in our confidence. We are coming from a position of weakness. So if you think back to a time, it could have been today, it could have been years ago, it could be ongoing, where you did something that you really didn't want to do. It could have been a conversation, it could have been going to a get-together. We've all had choices to make, and sometimes it seems like the easiest thing is to just say yes. Sometimes we'll just say yes just so the other person will stop bringing up this conversation or stop asking us to do this or try something. So we'll say yes, and the entire time we're not at peace because we've put on a mask. We've put on a mask that just says, you know what, I'll just be whatever it is you want me to be. Just like tonight for Halloween. We can put on a mask and be whoever it is that we want to be. But in this case, I'm talking about where we're wearing emotional masks. We're putting on a mask so we can be something someone else wants us to be. And when you've done this enough times, or you've done this long enough, it starts to erode at your emotional stability. You may feel anxious. You may have a lot of regrets. You may have remorse, and you may have anxiety because in truth, you're living your life for someone else. And I love to quote Mel Robbins. I've never met her. I just ordered her book. It should be here tomorrow. But she wrote a book called The Let Them Theory. Let them. When someone doesn't want to be with us, let them go. When someone doesn't feel like they want to be part of our community, our lives, let them go. We have absolutely no control over other people. But yet we put on a mask. We put on a mask that says, you know what, I'll play the game. I'll play the game. And even though I'm heartbroken, even though I don't feel safe with you, even though I don't feel loved, I don't feel appreciated, I'm afraid to let go. And when we're afraid to let go, we are not coming from a position of power. We are giving our power to someone else. And we basically are putting on an emotional mask. But behind the mask is pain. There's remorse, there's suffering, there's regrets. It's all low level emotions, nothing that brings a smile to our face, that brings joy to our life. So, what is the cost of hiding behind a mask? Well, it comes in many ways. Initially, you may not even notice it, but after enough time, you may feel invisible. You may be in an entire group of people, people you know, and you feel like you don't exist. And after you feel like you don't exist enough, you'll start to lose interest in some of the things that used to bring excitement to your life, some of the things you used to love to do. In fact, at some point, you might not even remember what it was that you used to like to do because you've been doing things for other people for so long. And why is this? I'm 62, and I know when I was growing up, my mother and father always said that I was from the me generation, that it was all about me. And I don't know if that was true or not true, but today it's almost the reverse, where you're afraid to do anything for yourself because then you're selfish, then you're thoughtless, then you don't care about your family or your friends. But the truth is, you can't pour from a cup that's half full. You have to replenish your cup every single day. And what that means is being able to face who you are, where you are right now. You know, recently I've had some people come to me and we were talking about coaching. I do one on one coaching, I do group coaching. And I've had a couple people say to me that they don't need coaching. And I thought this was interesting because I honestly can't think of anyone in my life I've ever met who couldn't use some coaching, right? We don't know everything there is to know in the world. And part of what I find to be exciting, and I love to share my own perspectives on this show, is the fact that we get to make a choice about how we spend our time, who we spend our time with, and what we're going to do. So when we decide, when we make a conscious effort that we don't want to grow anymore, that we don't want to learn anymore, what are we basically saying? And that's a question I don't have an answer for. But what I do know is, and I've said this before, even though I have education, I have a bachelor's, I have a master's, I have a doctorate, I've got many certifications, I'm now starting Wharton. I don't know everything. And sometimes I don't feel like I know anything. I always am open to growing and to learning and to putting myself out there. And it's difficult for me to spend a lot of quality time with people who are not like minded. Because if we're not out there growing, we're not out there interested in learning, what else is there? It's just the same thing. If you think of yourself, you get up every morning, you do the same things every single day, you go to sleep at night, you're exhausted, and you start the whole thing again. For me, every day is different. Even though I'm running businesses and I'm pretty much a hermit and a recluse, I can't wait to get up and to do what I need to do. I used to get up in the middle of the night and just go to my computer and start creating things because I love to just invent and create ideas and opportunities. And then I realized I need 8 hours of sleep. So I get it. But when we are able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I don't know everything, I am open to receiving. I have at any given time 5, 6, 7 mentors who are there for me. And they give me great feedback and great direction. And so if you think that you're above all that, then please don't watch the show anymore because there's nothing I can do to help you. But if you are open to learning, maybe by the end of this episode or any of the ones I've done before, the ones that are coming, maybe you'll be able to incorporate something into your life so that you ultimately can find peace. So I want to talk about the difference between privacy and pretending. Privacy and pretending. So, privacy to me, I'll give an example. When I was growing up, I never in a million years could have imagined looking in my parents' wallets. I couldn't imagine looking at their mail. I couldn't imagine getting their car and just taking it for a drive without asking them. I would never imagine even opening their bedroom door without knocking and asking for permission. And I've always been that way today. I think that everyone deserves their privacy. I think even when you're having a conversation with someone, that there's a healthy distance, a space that you can keep between you and the other person so that there's that personal space, privacy. But then when it comes to pretending, that's not the same thing as having privacy. Privacy can be you don't want to reveal your finances. Privacy can be you don't want to reveal what you're going to be doing with your career or where you're going on your vacation or how you spend your money or the fact that you're struggling with something. You could be struggling, you might feel anxious or overwhelmed, you might feel depressed, and you don't want to share that with someone. That is up to you, right? That's your privacy. But pretending is when you put on the mask and you act like everything is okay. And you act like everything is okay because either A, you don't want someone asking you a lot of questions, or B, giving you advice that you didn't ask for, or C, maybe deciding they don't want to have you in their life. So, in that way of pretending, you're actually coming from a place of fear. And a lot of the fears that we build up, and I'm a human, I'm right there with you, is because we want everyone to like us. We want to feel accepted. Is social media, for example, I spend a lot of time on social media because USA Global TV and Radio is on social media as well as many other platforms. But if we just look at what's on social media, we might feel a certain way. However, one of our team members, Caroline Hewer, just shared this yesterday, I think. You can actually get your social media to show you things that you're interested in seeing. So she was talking about the fact that at one point, I guess her feed was filled with news and things that were negative, and now she doesn't have any of that. I don't have any of that either. I have a lot of stand up comedy. I've got a lot of fashion and I've got a lot of fitness. And then, of course, I've got people like Mel Robbins and other inspirational people so that I can learn from them and incorporate what they're offering into my life. So I've heard from people that they think social media is a negative, but I actually think that it's a positive if your social media is trained for what it is that you want to see. And that actually leads me into training other people about how to treat us. Once we look in the mirror and decide to take off the mask, and I'm going to give you some tips about that. Once we decide to take off the mask, we don't want to put it back on again because we've made a forward motion towards loving ourselves, a forward motion towards accepting ourselves. I have always been concerned about my weight for most of my life. And of course, you get to a certain age and you start going through menopause, and there's plenty of books out there, but nobody comes to you and says, hey, by the way, why don't you check out this book and see what's coming for you? So I really never even gave it a second thought. But fortunately for me, I haven't had a lot of side effects. But the one thing I've realized is I can't eat whatever I want and then go to the gym and work it off. It doesn't work like that anymore. But I was upset about this up until I turned 60, I would say. I was really upset that I couldn't do what I used to do. I would sit on my spin bike and I would eat chocolate chip cookies while I was spinning so that I could burn the calories. And I've accepted the fact that I can eat whatever I want and go to the gym and burn it off because my body's changed. So once I accepted that about myself, peace. I'm not driving myself crazy anymore because I can't control that. We spend so much of our lives being upset about things that we cannot control. And yet we wonder, why are we anxious? Why are we upset? Why are we looking backwards and living in the past? Because we don't want to accept what we can control and what we can't. I was having a conversation with someone, and the person was just sharing that there were some things going on in this person's life and that they were upset about it. And when we discussed it, many of the things that this person shared were out of this person's control. But we want things to be a certain way. We want to feel a certain way. We want it to be the way that it used to be, but it's not going to be. And once we start to accept that, once we start to let go of that, once we start opening our arms and being receptive to what else is out there, the peace starts to come. And so, what I'd like to share with you at 62 years of age is the things that I've learned in the last 10 years of my life are absolutely priceless. There's no amount of money in the world that would equate to the key learnings that I've had. And that, I believe, is because life changed. Things happened that were out of my control. I had to make some decisions, make them, they were good, they weren't good. But I had to look at what would I do with the choices that I've made? How can I make them work for me? And so today I'm suggesting to you that you take off your mask. And how do you do that? The first thing is accepting the fact that you have a mask on. What does that mean? Are you truly living the life you want to live? Or are you doing things consistently to make other people happy and they're making you very sad? When you go to sleep at night, are you able to sleep peacefully? Or are you tormented about decisions that you made or decisions you will have to make that you know you're not doing by following your intuition? I know in the past, I absolutely did not follow my intuition. I would say I did not follow my intuition until 2021. And there were decisions that I made prior to that my intuition said no. And I went ahead for whatever reason. Today, I only follow my intuition. I was driving back from working out and I needed to stop at the store, and there's several different branches of the store, and the GPS had me going on a highway. And for some reason I just said to myself, do not go on the highway. Go the extra 2 miles to the other location. And I thought, this is crazy. Like, it's shorter. Just get on the highway and just get off. And then I thought to myself, it's a major highway. It's a Friday. It's Halloween. Maybe there's something there that I'm not supposed to do that. And I didn't do it. And as soon as I just accepted I wasn't going to do it, I was at peace because I followed my intuition. Now, that doesn't mean that every single situation that we're in, we're going to have time to listen to our intuition. Or does it? It absolutely does. Before making any major decisions that are going to impact your life, we need to take a step back and just think about it. Think it through. When you're invited somewhere that you don't really want to go, and then you decide to go anyway, when you walk into that room, most people, okay, I don't have any survey data, research, most people are capable of sensing someone's energy. That doesn't mean that you have to be psychic medium or empath, but you can tell when someone walks into a room if they are hostile or angry or filled with joy. And the people who are sending off the positive energy are typically the ones that people want to be around. So when you make a decision that is not serving you, it's showing up in your energy. The way you carry yourself. Are you hunched over? Your shoulders are over? Or are you standing tall? Are you smiling? Are you laughing? Or does everything seem dark? Everything seems like a lot of energy. It's because you're not living your life fully in your own authentic way. You're showing up and living someone else's life because your parents want you to do it, because your spouse wants you to do it, because your family wants you to do it. And you can't be anything to anyone until you're something to yourself. So, what I encourage you to do is go in front of the mirror. You can go right now, you'll still be able to hear my voice. Go in front of the mirror and look at yourself. Do you like what you see? And I don't mean the structure of your face or how you look physically. Are you happy with who you are? Are you proud of who you are? And if you are, that's great. Keep it up. And you know what? Help other people feel the same. But if you feel tortured inside, if you feel lost, lonely, struggling, you can change the course of your life, but only you can do it. And the first thing you have to say is, you know what? I can't control everything. I just had somebody complaining about the weather. We can't control the weather, can we? Why put any more energy into the weather? Let's look at what can we control. We certainly can control setting a boundary. You can set a boundary about when you're available. You can set a boundary about who you're available for. And you can set a boundary of how much time you want to invest in people, places, projects, etc. And once you set those boundaries, you will be tested. Expect to be tested because that's how life is. It's one challenge after another. And when you're tested, when you truly are in a state of peace and coming from a place of love as opposed to fear, you won't have any problem standing up for your boundary. But until then, you will get questioned. You will get a lot of back and forth from people in your life who don't like the fact that you've set this boundary. And that's okay because they have the same choice. They can also set boundaries. And that doesn't mean that we have to like them, but we have to respect them. If we don't respect them, then we're constantly in a state of conflict. And I like to give an example of this when you think about wearing an emotional mask. I talk a lot about what it's like to build a fire. I've never been on a reality TV show. I don't expect to, but on a number of these shows, you have people who are responsible for building a fire. And they may get, I think it's called a flint, and then they get some kindling and they start the fire. And then they have to actually keep the fire going by fanning the fire, blowing on the fire. And if not, the fire dies out and there's no heat. And it's the same kind of thing as an analogy when it comes to relationships. When you're wearing a mask, you're more likely to get into some kind of confrontation with someone because you're truly not coming from a place of love. You're coming from a place of being unhappy, unsettled, resentful. And so an argument starts to ensue. And one person after the other, you go back and forth, and it's almost like you're sword fighting. And it's kind of like, oh, I'll get a dig in here, I'll get a dig in there. And the fire, the proverbial fire, starts to get higher and higher and higher. But if you had decided to drop the mask and be your authentic self and set the boundary, there'd be no one to be in a fight with because the other person is left literally holding the proverbial bag of there's no one to fight with. So I ask you to consider that the next time you are in a situation where you're feeling upset, take a pause, take a breath, and just think, do I really want to engage and go down this path? Maybe you're in traffic. Okay, this one's so easy to relate to. You're in traffic and you have to be somewhere at a certain time, but the traffic is moving slowly. You've got a truck in front of you. Whatever the case is, you've tried to maneuver to get into other lanes and you cannot do it. You start to get more and more upset because you have to be there at a certain time. Now your blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera. What if you just said, this is out of my control, so I'm just going to deal with it? Maybe you make a phone call if it's safe to do so, hands-free, and you contact whomever and say, I'm unable to tell you exactly when I'm going to get there because I'm stuck in traffic. What a relief. What a relief, because now you don't have to put yourself in a situation where you're not even safe. So think about how you can handle situations that are out of your control so that you can feel safe and have a sense of peace. Once you start doing this, you will realize you have much less stress in your life. I just read something recently, and I'd love to cite the person who shared it, but I don't remember. It was a gentleman who actually shared the fact that if your life, your work life, for example, is nothing but stress, you're not doing the right thing for yourself. But if your work life is filled with joy and passion, then it's serving you, it's suiting you. So think about where stress is coming up for you in your life. And I want to just share something, if I can bring this up quickly, if I'm able to find it. Let's see. It's called the happiness circle. Here it is. And so, what I'd like us to look at on here is, where are the areas in your life where you're having the most amount of stress? Is it your career, your lifestyle, your personal development? Which one of these really resonate with you? Think about it. And how far from being happy, right? In the middle is the happiness. How far away on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the happy place, how far away are you in each of these categories? The ones where you probably are further away from 10, you could likely be wearing a mask. And that mask you think is protecting you. But at the same time, you're actually pretending. You're pretending instead of looking for possible steps to get you closer to happiness. And what do I mean by that? We all know of people, and I just experienced this recently. They tell you everything's great. Everything's great. And by the way, I do believe in the affirmation of positive reinforcement. I am well, I am happy, telling myself this over and over again, because I do believe that it resonates with the mind. But when you're living in a pretend world where you want everyone to think that you're great and everything's terrific, you're putting on that mask. And that mask is what's really keeping you from having additional safety and love. It's basically providing more distance, which is equating to fear and isolation. So the first thing you have to do with the mask is realize that you have it, that you're not as happy as you're pretending that you are. Okay, if we could all be a 10 in these areas all the time, that would be quite something. But typically in life, there are always tests. And when the tests come up, that means, okay, what do we have in our toolbox to help us move closer to the happiness center circle? So dropping the mask is the first thing. Being able to accept who you are and what you can control. The things that we can't control, we don't spend a lot of time on. Maybe you are right now, but I'm suggesting that you don't. That you take that energy, that right now, the energy that you could be assigning, giving your power to gossip, giving your energy to, he doesn't like me, she doesn't like me, they didn't invite me, they don't care. That energy, and putting it into this process of finding happiness in these areas. Work with what you can so that you are your own leader. No one's coming to save you. There's no magic wand. My mom used to say that, oh, there's no magic wand. There's no magic wand. There's only taking tools, mentorship, coaching, reading, following inspirational people. Faith, of course, is huge. Belief in something bigger. And incorporating all of that into your belief system to come up with a new series of behaviors in your life so that you can find peace. When you find peace, you will be amazed at how your life opens up the doors of possibilities to you. Now, what I want to leave you with is this: no one can understand the journey you're on. No one can understand the journey I'm on. So when we walk around asking people for their opinions, we could have just as many people lining up on this side as we have lining up on this side. So that to me is null, Null, zero. Okay. We don't need to do that. We need to follow the voice that's inside, our intuition. If you're hearing a lot of voices, that could be something else. That's a whole different program. And I don't have expertise in that area. But your intuition's talking to you, listen to it. Take your energy, take your focus in what it is that you need to do to be fully happy and at peace, and take all the negativity that surrounds you, that will always be there in life, by the way. Someone will always be trying to break your bubble. You don't need to have outside reinforcement of what a good person you are. Every person has goodness inside of them. Even people who have made major mistakes in their life, at some point in their life, there was something good about them. And then something probably happens and then it broke them. And maybe they never recovered. Maybe they never repented. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about each and every one of us who believes in the goodness of humanity, who believes that we are here to serve for higher purpose and to give back. There is a place for you to have your happiness, to get what you want, and to be fulfilled. You have to do the work. And the work takes work, and it takes time. So make a decision to be your full, authentic self, regardless of what the outside world thinks of you. Even if it's your partner, your family, maybe it's time that you went out on your own to find out who you are. I'm not suggesting that you break up your home or anything like that. Take time to learn about who you are, because if you can't be happy with you, nobody else can be happy with you either. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here. I am here every night at 8 o'clock, and I thank you for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow. I do have some exciting announcements, which I'd like to share. So for those of you who do not know me, I am the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at USA Global TV and Radio. We officially launched on I think it was January 15th of 2022. And we have earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award for over 100,000 subscribers. So thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Our team is global and our audience is global. And in fact, on USA Global TV and Radio YouTube channel, we have an audience that the United States is probably sixth in terms of viewership. And we also have Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck on YouTube, and our audience there is US is the number one country, and then Germany is second, and France is third. Of course, this changes all the time. So regardless of where you're watching, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Amazon Fire, or through any of our distributors, the audience is going to be different, but the messaging is always the same. All of our team members are certified as elevated listeners, meaning they have taken my course and they continue to take education based on elevated listening and how they can be fully present for all of their guests. We currently have, I believe, 62 or 63 different television shows. You can find them all in their playlists on YouTube. You can also find them on our website, USA Global TV and Radio. And my other business, I actually am a keynote speaker. I facilitate workshops around the world, and I'm an author. This is my newest book, Holy But Harmful: The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives. And in this book, there are 100 different statements that people use on a regular basis. We've all heard them. And these are statements that are really filled with judgment. There's also statements that people make that are passive aggressive statements. There's also statements that are religious based that can be judgmental. So this book is not to call out anyone or anything. It's basically to help us find the awareness of when we're judging others or when we're being judged. And when we're being judged, how do we react or how do we not react? So yesterday, I think it was, the companion workbook came out for this, and here it is. It's Holy But Harmful: The Silent Sin of Judgment Companion Guide. And you'll notice right here, it's a #1 new release. And I'm very excited about that because it takes a lot for a book to be a #1 new release. And I personally do all of the marketing now myself. And I think I was trying to find out exactly how many books I've published in the last 4 years. I think it's about 20. And of the 20, only one of them has not been either a #1 new release, top release, or a bestseller. So thank you for your support. I would love if you would pick up a copy. The actual paperback, hardback are available not only on Amazon, but they're available in fine bookstores around the world as well. I saw that they're in Waterstones as well as Barnes and Noble. And then my latest children's book is Lady Ella and Lord Jack's Kindness Adventures, teaching children how to learn how to listen and how to be kind. So the thought process is basically, if when we get to be adults, we have to undo so many layers of behavior patterns that we've learned, why not give children a head start by teaching them these things from the very beginning? If you think about it, when we go to school, they teach us history and geography and mathematics. They don't teach us how to manage money. They don't teach us how to be kind. They don't teach us how to listen. So these are things that, unfortunately, as a society, I feel they're opportunities. And so many like me are here to help you with those opportunities. And finally, what I want to share is we have a retreat that is coming up, and it's actually the Listening Mentor Wellness Retreat. It's June 3rd through the 6th. It's at the Horseshoe Farm, which is in Hendersonville, North Carolina, in the United States of America. And it's going to be an absolutely beautiful experience. So I want to play a clip so you can actually see the Horseshoe Farm and the Silo Cookhouse and the stable spa. I took most of the video footage that's in this clip, and you can join us. It's open to anyone in the world. We would love to have you. So take a look at this, and please do subscribe to our channels. We have, as I mentioned, 2 channels. Let me bring up the graphic. We have USA Global TV and Radio, and we have Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. So I would love if you could join us on both of those platforms. And you're welcome to come and be a guest on our shows as well. We would love to have you. And of course, you're welcome to inquire about having your own show. We currently have a show in German, we have a show in French, and we're onboarding new show hosts all the time. So thank you again. Let's take a look at the retreat at the Horseshoe Farm. Imagine that you can be here. Nestled in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Horseshoe Farm has always been more than a destination. It's a living, breathing reflection of community, connection, and transformation. Once a humble family farmstead, it has evolved over the years to become a sanctuary for travelers, seekers, families, and friends alike. Originally reimagined by the Turchin family as an Airbnb property, the farm began its journey into hospitality with simple roots, welcoming guests to experience the beauty and peace of the sacred land. As word spread and the vision deepened, the property organically blossomed into a boutique resort, rooted in the values of slow living, intentional experiences, and the magic of gathering. Today, the Horseshoe Farm is a 90-acre experiential retreat that merges hospitality, wellness, and culinary excellence. It is home to the stable spa, the Silo Cookhouse, distinctive lodging options, and a curated calendar of events that nourish mind, body, and spirit. Our guest experience is designed to be both grounding and expansive, where the comforts of luxury meet with the simplicity of nature. At its core, the Horseshoe Farm is about transformation of land, of self, and of community. We are proud of where we've come from. We are confident in who we are today and excited for the road ahead. Hello, I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, also known as the Listening Mentor and President and Founder of USA Global TV and Radio. I had the opportunity, the pleasure of attending a retreat at the Horseshoe Farm just recently. I was so impressed with all of the opportunities that were presented to me in this glorious setting, as well as the highest level of customer service, that I've decided to put together a retreat at the Horseshoe Farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina, United States of America, June 3rd through the 6th, 2026. You can expect to have a beautiful time of relaxation combined with learning, community, collaboration. Do consider joining me in this wonderful opportunity to reconnect with yourself, with others, and with nature. For more information, email me at drjacalyn@usaglobaltv.com.
Every woman carries a story of strength, of purpose, of light. Through her courage, the world is transformed. Through her grace, generations are inspired. This is Iconic Women. Within Every Woman Lives a Goddess, a celebration of brilliance, beauty, and empowerment. Join us every Wednesday at 11 a.m. New York, 4 p.m. London time, only here on USA, Global TVR, and Radio. Featuring the iconic Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, honoring voices that shine across the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, to watch and engage with all our content. World-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover Holy but Harmful: The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives, by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions, designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacalyn.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck is the Listening Mentor. Start your journey today. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.